So as you can see, I've done a ton of mods on my trailer over the years, but the best one, and the one that I've been waiting the longest to do, is adding heat. And I've done a lot of research on forums, online, just seeing what type of options there are for heating the sleds. One of the things that always frustrated me was I couldn't make adjustments to my rear suspension because things would constantly stay frozen. So for those of us who are keeping your sleds in your trailer and not at home in, let's say, heated garage or shop, it becomes a bit of a problem when you want to start adjusting things underneath and things are still frozen from week to week. So the plan this year was finally, get some heat installed in the trailer and, see if I can potentially thaw out the machines while they're in here, let's say, for a couple of hours. And sure enough, we tested it out in Cochrane over the weekend that we were there, and it worked really well. So I'll show you guys what I did. These Chinese diesel heaters, it's a 12-volt diesel heater, puts out 5K, and you can get them really cheap off Amazon. This one was, I think, $250 delivered off Amazon. It's got 4 outlets on it. And essentially how I've done this is, how I've installed it is, you're going to drill 2 holes through the bottom of the trailer, through the wood floor, and you're going to vent the exhaust. And I'll show you guys some pictures for how I did that. You're also going to have another tube that will go out the front, which is your air intake. So that helps to take fresh air from outside, convert it as it goes through through the unit into heat. So these are great. The diesel seems to last a really long time. I've got it wired around to the front into a 12-volt deep cycle battery, and it seems to, again, use very little voltage when it's running. It does take a little bit of amperage when it's actually starting up and igniting the glow plug, but once it's actually running, it's using very little voltage. So we ran it for, let's say, 3 hours in here the other night. Now granted, it was warm in Cochrane over the weekend, but we were able to thaw out the sleds really nicely. So highly recommend one of these if you guys are thinking about how to install heat into your enclosed trailer. I'll also note that I was a little cautious about it as well because my trailer actually isn't insulated. So I wasn't really sure how well it would work. And surprisingly, this is, an 18-foot box. Let's say, this is a 22-foot trailer total. It doesn't have the extra height in the ceiling, but for the most part, it was toasty in here. We were hanging out here Saturday night and this thing was pumping, and all of us were basically in sweatshirts, no problem. So out of everything that I've done in here, I finally waited and went through and did this year. It was a really easy install. The one thing you're going to want to do if you put one of these in is make sure that you put it on a switch and that you fuse it obviously to the battery. So the LCD display on these, when the unit is actually wired into the battery, will be on all the time, and that'll eventually drain your battery. So I've got a little switch that I put on the back of here that I can flip, and that essentially will turn the screen and turn the unit on, and then you can fire it up. Overall, I'm going to see how it works throughout the year, but for the first run in Cochrane, we tested it out and it worked great. I've still got almost a full tank of fuel, so it really uses like no fuel at all. Really happy with it. So if anybody's thinking about it, feel free to hit me up on Facebook if you have any questions on how to do the install. Happy to help.
If you liked that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the Sled Addicts YouTube channel, where we release content on everything snowmobiles. Also, hit that bell icon so you can be updated every time we release new videos.